man. Ding dong. Tuchel vs Jude Bellingham. Round 2's just kicked off, guys. Round 2 has just kicked off. But it's literally like something from WWE. You know when you had Vince McMahon stirring stuff up? They'll go interview one WWE star, then they'll go interview the other one, they'll stir it. Listen, I want to give Gabriel Clarke the benefit of the doubt here because he's an experienced, like, OG in this journal thing, yeah? However, I can only call it how I see it. It did look messy. It did look like, listen, we ain't got much to talk about right now apart from injuries. Like, there's no scandals. Like, the lads ain't going to the strip clubs in Miami. Do you know what I mean? It did look like there's a lot of harmony within the squad. Everyone's getting on. Because I'm telling you, they were banking on, if not Jude Tuchel, they were banking on some type of friction between Jude and Rodgers. But all they're seeing is Jude and Rodgers just embracing each other, talking glowingly about each other, hugging and high-fiving every time they could. So it does look like, and Gabriel Clarke, he don't ever come across, I've never met him in person, of course, but I never get that vibe from him, like, that he's one of those messy ones, you know what I mean? I never get that Craig Hope vibe about him, but that was messy. You didn't give Jude any context from the Tuchel statement or interview, apart from the part of the interview that you knew would irk him. So it does look a bit like you're stirring the pot or just, you know, trying to poke the bear a little bit, just evoke a reaction. And that's wrong. That's bad. That's bad. And then what happens also is Jude looks like the bad guy. But for me, neither of them are the bad guy in this situation. In this situation, what it shows to me is a lot of the reasons also why some players are not even in the squad. Because I'm telling you, everyone's kind of getting on Jude's back about, he shouldn't have said this, shouldn't have said that. With Tuchel, everyone said, it's so refreshing to hear a manager come out and say it how it is, say how he really feels, be honest. Do you know what I mean? When Jude says what he wants, very similar to Tuchel. They're gonna say it how they see it. They're gonna be honest. They're gonna be emotional, slightly emotionally charged, especially after a game like that. And that's exactly what Jude was. He's just like, listen, mate, we can get into technicals and that, like, tomorrow or the day after we've had a bit of rest and we're looking back over the tape. We can get into all that, but right now, in the moment, we've just run up and down for 120 minutes in the 40 degrees heat against some giant Vikings that are sick at football. And yeah, the team didn't play great. Declan was half sick, had to come off half time. And we conceded a goal from a cross, like a freak goal, and we pulled it out of the bag. We've done it. We're in the semi-final. You don't want to be hearing, your manager basically said you played crap. He's thinking, hang on a minute. That's why he said what he said. Do you know what I mean? But that wasn't all that Tuchel said. And what Tuchel said, I agree with. They've been poor. They've been way below levels. Way below levels. Way below levels. So I agree with what Tuchel said. I also think if you're going to praise Tuchel for being honest, you want Tuchel to be open and honest in interviews. You can't then criticize Jude for doing the same thing. It's either you both shut up or you allow them to both express themselves. As long as they're not, calling each other out, literally, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. As long as it's not going past a certain line, being insulting to one another, which I don't think there was. But what it shows is that relationships in general, yeah, two alphas are always going to buck heads. Two egotistical people are always going to butt heads. It's natural. So But the highlight always goes on Jude about our ego, this, that, and the other. Do you not think Thomas Tuchel has an ego? Do you like? But it's positive spin with Thomas Tuchel. It's like, yeah, it's lovely, wonderful, because it's like he's the total opposite to Gareth Southgate. So this is why it's like refreshing for everyone. Wicked. We can actually hear what he actually feels. Even his assistant manager has obviously been told, yeah, go out there and say it. Say exactly, like, give it to them. Who cares? Like, do you know what I mean? So, like I said, two alphas, they're gonna butt heads. I believe personally, this was the whole issue from the get-go with him and Tuchel. Was the characteristics, it was that side of things. It wasn't playing. It was characteristics. It was Tuchel's come in. And Tuchel is that type of person. He likes to apply dominance. You know what I mean? I'm top dog. I'm alpha. What I say goes. Tuchel wants to have the biggest influence over the squad. But there's a lot of dressing rooms where, cool, the manager has the final say, but amongst the players, really and truly, the biggest influence is from either the star player or like a group of players. There might be like a 3-4 group, leadership group within the team, and cool, they respect the manager, take on board what the manager says, but within the players internally, it's like they still look to kind of how that group is receiving the manager, and they kind of follow accordingly. I think Tuchel realized that Jude is that guy. Jude is in there telling people about themselves. Jude is in there saying, let's go left, let's go right. And he realized they're following this. He's thinking, this kid. Who's this kid? Because let's have it right. He was a kid when Tuchel cut. He just turned 23 in the tournament. So Tuchel has obviously tried to make an example of Jude to the rest of the squad, and also try and tame Jude a little bit. Try and tame him, but not tame him, because I think Tuchel appreciates the fire in his belly, but he's trying to like not tame him, but like make him more obedient. That sounds like a crazy word to say, but like make him follow suit a little bit more. Yeah, keep that fire in your belly, but you have to follow my instructions type thing. But there's players that, yeah, they're gonna respect you and whatnot, but they're not gonna go out there and just follow your instruction. And I feel like Trent falls into that category as well. Another alpha, another player that's not just gonna follow your instruction. Because if on the pitch it's not working, they're gonna adapt. They're gonna adapt. And because like Jude, there's things coming out like he didn't like how Jude like just acts like he just acts like, you know, I'm the best player on the pitch. I know I'm the best player on the pitch. So if things ain't working, I'm going to go over there and get the ball. Like, you know, like in school days, yeah, you're the best in the school team. The opposition might have a one striker that's taking liberties at your defenders. You're a striker, you know. But you might, in the second half, you might all say to the defender, I'm going at the back. I'm going in the back. And you'll go back there and you'll man mark the striker at the game. And you'll even get a few assists at the same time. That, not to that extent, but that's the type of vibes what Tuchel was getting from Jude and didn't like. That this is from, if you watch certain podcasts, things have come out in it. Things have come out in the media. There's people from the media around that was around Jude and Tuchel at the time, around the England squad at the time when all that was going on. They now do a podcast. It's called The Whistleblowers or something. You hear it in there. They talk about it. So that's where I'm getting these little bits of information. So, and the same with, like I was saying, that's the same thing with Trent. I don't think Cole Palmer's alpha, but I feel like he's a free spirit on the pitch like that as well. Obviously with him, it's a little bit to form as well, but he's free-spirited as well. And with Palmer, it's less so, because it's a little bit about playing to Kane's strength and Palmer doesn't. But I feel like he has that free spirit within him as well, where Tuchel wants like soldiers, like one leadership voice. You lot are my soldiers. So yeah, I think like this little episode, shall we call it, in the media, I feel like it kind of just shows us a little bit of insight to the bigger picture of why they kind of been clashing from the get-go and why certain players are not here. We're all baffled asking questions, why is Trent not here? I feel like this is one of the reasons. And in the end, Tuchel had to kind of come to like some type of medium with Jude and have him back because he is the best player. He is the best player. As much as he was flirting with the idea of starting Rodgers, and everyone's trying to give him credit, like say he wasn't thinking about starting Rodgers, like it was all just a big tactic to get Jude on side, rev him up. Bull, listen, that was a serious consideration from Tuchel. I'm telling you. I'll let you know what I think changed his mind for good was when he omitted Jude from the squad, yeah? In those warm-up games, it was against teams that were playing low blocks. With Rodgers, it didn't work. It didn't work because Rodgers isn't against low blocks, Rodgers doesn't even play as a cam for Aston Villa. Emery puts him out wide because Emery knows he doesn't thrive within tight spaces. He thrives within big spaces. He needs spaces to penetrate, to operate, to be at his best. Morgan Rodgers, I mean. So I feel like Tuchel saw they struggled against Japan, lost against Japan. They lost against Senegal. Who else when Jude was out? They struggled in a few of them games when Jude was out against low blocks. So then it's at that point when Tuchel realised, hold on a minute. Okay, we got to get Jude back on side. We got to get him back in. But at the end of the day, for this tournament, yeah, you got a freshly 23-year-old player, yeah, that's on top of the world right now, the best player possibly in the tournament. Do you really want to lower his flame, so to speak, yeah? Or would you rather you kind of turn down your ego a little bit and suck it up a little bit, yeah? Cool. Take a little hit to your pride or whatever. And maybe even stroke his ego. It sounds mad, but do you know what I mean? Stroke Jude's ego. Make him feel cool. Obviously, you have a word and say, listen, in public, let's try and, you know what I mean, all one, whatever. But keep him on that high. Don't try and like bring him back down. No, keep him on that high, even if it means that your ego and has to come down a little bit. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who's boss, who's alpha, who's the man. It's not about that. It's about winning. So if you're really that top tier, top level manager, you would understand that and you would do whatever it takes to win this World Cup. And after that, in the break season between international football, then you kind of can, I don't know, whatever you want to do after that when it comes to Jude and I don't know what he says to the media or whatever. 'Cause I remember even at first it was, he's not talking to the media. Now he's talking to the media. Anyway, let me end it here. I didn't even want it to go this long. I didn't want to focus on it too much, but I felt like something had to be said. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments though, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree, if you disagree, if you've got a total different opinion on it, let me know. Love.